mosquitoes and fleas. We're no longer looking how to cure Lyme's. You can't. The rate of infection is about 99%. So we're looking at how we can bring it down in the system to a point that our bodies can cope and live with it, so our immune systems can support us. It's virtually every biting insect. And this was really, I mean, I was shocked. I mean, the why me, the guilt thing, why is my child autistic? And then I heard about the Lyme's thing again. I don't get this. And then I went, okay, I grew up with horses. I've been bitten to death by horseflies. I've traveled extensively all over the world. I've had sandflies biting me in New Zealand, been in the deserts, you name it, I've been bitten. So somewhere along the line, I'm a silent carrier. I've had Raynaud's, and Dietrich went back to his Raynaud's clinic 20 years previously. He found a couple of patients who are still alive, and guess what? They all tested positive for Lyme's. Sexual intercourse, blood transfusions, transplacental to fetus, unpasteurized milk, breastfeeding, food. It's everywhere, and we cannot ignore it. These are the bacteria that carry it, and this is what we're looking for. This is what we try and test for, and this is what we can test for with sympathetic resonance. We can have the frequencies of these things, so we can bypass the blood test in the first stages to actually get an idea of whether the patient actually has these things on board. Borrelia is the most virulent strain, and it is the one that is most likely to put people in a wheelchair if it is not addressed. Babesia is quite often misdiagnosed asthma. It likes to live in the lungs. Ehrlichia, Coxiella, Bartonella is often regarded as cat scratch disease and likes to live in the teeth. So if you've got teeth that basically appear to be decaying a lot of the time, it's not just that they've got shoddy teeth. It could be that Bartonella's living in there. And then, of course, we have mycoplasma and the viruses, especially cytomegalovirus and Epstein-Barr. Dr. Andrew Wright, the medical researcher in the United Kingdom, believes that the majority of chronic conditions are Lyme-related. And this is where it is in the world. So really, you can't go anywhere. It's everywhere. I put this slide in from Dietrich because I think it's, without going through everything, because I think it's important that it's now been acknowledged that most psychiatric disorders have got Lyme's behind them. And Dietrich has a saying that if it's presenting like something that's in the mind, look in the body. And if it's presenting that there's something majorly wrong in the body, look in the mind. And never has this been more true with this one. And as you'll see, we have autism at the bottom and Asperger's. This slide, for me, the bottom one is the most important. I'm not a doctor, so I can't speak about this from an informed position, but I trust Dietrich implicitly. He is a registered doctor in this country, in America, in Germany, and I think a few other countries. Undiagnosed Lyme's disease is rampant in the UK, and physicians making the diagnosis have been silenced by the GMC. When you think about how rampant it is and how much it's going to cost the insurance companies, you can do the maths. Some of what's in the arsenal for treating Lyme's. Some people are looking at up to 4 years to get it under control if they've got Borrelia and it's really, really, virulent. Other people may be looking at a few months. But again, a lot of the similar things we had before: freeze-dried garlic, phospholipids. We have various tinctures: Smilax, Stephania, Japanese knotweed, teasel's another one, cat's claw. MMS is controversial, but in some cases they've had excellent results with it. Quintessence, the Rhizols are very successful. But again, we're looking at not just the Lyme's, we're looking at supporting the whole body, because you have all of these co-infections going on, and it's really important. And again, get rid of the wires and the wireless, because you don't need a bacteria being given a 600% increase. No, thank you. Check out Lyme-induced autism. It's a site that Dietrich is partly responsible for. He set up this foundation because in response to the huge numbers of children that were now testing positive for Lyme's disease. And there's a great deal of information out there. If you go onto Dietrich's site, neuraltherapy.com and klinghartacademy.com, and I think he has a klingheart.org, I'm not sure. But, you know, just put Klingheart into Google and you'll also find a great deal of information that he has about protocols and information on how to look after it. So, this now brings me to the reason we're all here. The most important people in our lives, our very, very special children. And I think it's important to look at perhaps another side of them, because they bring out the very best in all of us. They actually make us who we are today. None of you would be the characters that you are unless you'd had your very special child. They make us more patient to continue doing that same simple thing that brings them so much delight. They make you stronger mentally to carry on and soldier on where other people just wouldn't be able to go there. They make us stand up for what we believe in and be counted and not take no for an answer, and to really push for things that we believe in. We will not accept no for an answer. We will find a way. We get lawyers, we get barristers, we get groups of people together, and they stir in us something that nobody should mess with. They make us find a way forward. Their gift to us, when you have nothing left, they enable us to find the strength to give even more and change the sheets on the bed for the third time that night. They are gentle souls on the whole. They're not going to go out and be murderers and robbers and rapists and let us down and be put in jail. They are so gentle. They enable us to delight in the simplest and tiniest steps forward that most other people would take for granted. And they love us unconditionally. They enable us to find the highest pinnacles of our humanity. So let's just acknowledge the huge gift that these children are to us and thank them for what they go through every day, which turns you into the most incredible parents. And let us also acknowledge their siblings, those very special children who have to endure day in, day out the things that they do, for they too have a different journey to most other children. So go on, as parents, it's about time you give yourselves a really large pat on the back, because you have achieved and done more than most people could ever conceive or imagine. And finally, let's all stand up and give a huge round of applause for our children, and let's focus on their magnificence and not their disorders.